You know me as Janice, but to my godfather George, who many of you know as Elder Bennett, I was always known as just Janet. For as long as I can remember, he was a constant presence in my life. And he truly lived up to the title of Godfather. Many people lose touch with their godparents over the years, but our relationship is entirely different. My godfather George was the most righteous, kind, patient, and devoted man I have ever known. I only recently learned how deep this kindness ran right from the very beginning of my life. When my mother was released from the hospital after giving birth to me, she didn't want to return to her living conditions with a newborn and a 1-year-old brother. Brother George was a quiet Jamaican man living alone just a block over. In our small, close-knit Caribbean community in England, someone suggested my parents ask him to help and rent a room. Without hesitation, Brother George opened his doors and took our entire family into his home. George opened his doors and took our entire family in until my parents could find better living arrangements. That was where we first bonded, and where he proudly accepted the role of my godfather. He was there from the very first days, and over the next 55 years, he would witness every single chapter of my life so far. One of my earliest memories of Elder George was of him as a pristine church-going man. He was deeply spiritual and attended service faithfully. He would often invite me to join his family, Aunt Kathleen and his sons Mark and Wayne. Being one of 5 children, that invitation made me feel incredibly special. I would get dressed in my Sunday best and run out to the car, where he was always waiting patiently. I have never once heard him complain or make a fuss. After church, he would bring me to his home for a beautiful home-cooked Jamaican Sunday dinner, which he and Kathleen would prepare together. After we ate, George would always ask, "Jan, do you want some strawberries?" He grew them himself in the backyard, tending to his garden with great care, even up to his final months. He would tell me to only pick the red ones because they were the sweetest. It made me feel so important that he chose to share his harvest with me. As I grew older, his generosity grew with me. I will never forget my 13th birthday. He drove me uptown to Debenhams department store. It was like a Macy's. And he walked patiently up and down the aisles with me until he could find me the perfect gift. Years later, when I brought my first home, he took me to a furniture store to pick out the dining table. A beautiful piece that I still cherish today, nearly 30 years later. And of course, every mango season, my godfather would call me to come pick up a fresh bag. It brings a heavy sensation to my heart and tears to my eyes that he wasn't able to call me this season. It isn't even the fruit I miss, but the simple sound of his voice. Sadly, life will not be the same for me. Since my godfather was a constant figure in my life. When we hadn't spoken for a while, he would call me up just to say hello. We would catch up on life until the next call or visit. Because he was so righteous, calm, and kind, he will surely be missed, and his void of my life will last forever. Fortunately, as an adult, I was able to return some of the boundless kindness he showed to me, and I know he truly appreciated it. He loved me from infancy, and I loved him to the very end. I am proudly grateful that I was able to hours before his final breath. Embodying the unconditional love he taught me throughout my life.